Well, good morning, everybody. I think we're still just in morning. I know the second day of the conference is usually a little bit harder than the first for various reasons, so I'll try and keep this as reasonably easy as I can. But I want to spend a little time today talking to you about staying safe in the digital asset age. This term, digital asset, is used a lot more interchangeably now. When we talk about digital assets, we mean everything: NFTs, crypto, security tokens. Kick off, quick 30 seconds about me. I'm the managing associate of Gresham International. I'm an international lawyer, qualified in a couple of different countries. I wrote a book a couple of years ago, The Little Book of Crypto. I write for most major industry publications. Started a couple of companies myself, founded Fortune Wallet, advised a couple of governments, and I'm also a board member, founding board member of the British Blockchain Association. Bit of housekeeping. Whenever I give a talk, I like to talk about a couple of things. Please remember, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. So anything I talk about, don't ever point back to me and be like, well, that guy on that stage said that, so don't hold me for it. Everything I talk about today is going to be for a reference point. It might sound like I'm speaking about something. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But they're all hypothetical situations. Cool. So if you have a project in your mind and you're thinking, well, those guys did that, I'm probably not talking about them, just to be clear. Look, why is staying safe in a digital asset age so important? Why does it really matter? The digital asset age is the new internet boom. People joke and people draw these parallels, and I've been in technology long enough to remember cloud and big data and everybody getting excited about that. So we know technology comes in waves. But really what we have to consider here is the digital asset age is the new internet. Ignoring Web 3.0 jokes aside, it really represents a massive technology boom, the biggest shift in the financial services industry in an entire generation. And staying safe in that is massively important, because there are a number of social, economical, and environmental responsibilities we have. And I've jokingly but half seriously said for the last few years, those of us in this industry now are pioneers. We kind of jumped in very early, we took faith in it, and part of being a pioneer is having a responsibility. Not just a belief in what you're doing, but also having a responsibility in the industry. So staying safe has a number of steps to it. And really, what does that look like? And you can kind of break it down into whatever side of the relationship you sit on. So let's say, for example, you're a business leader. If you run a business, we spoke a lot about Mika a moment ago. If you are a service provider in this industry, you need to understand how that staying safe aspect looks like. If you're a service provider, myself as a lawyer, accountants, most of the people here today as service providers into the industry will also need to stay safe for their respective clients, for the advice that they give, for the things that they do. And of course, if you're an industry user, if you use digital assets, if you trade them, collect them, whatever it may be, if you engage with them, you've also got your own responsibility to stay safe. And I guess it boils down to this. Look, what's the worry? Well, the number one concern is being scammed, right? Everybody's worried about scams. And we talk about this very openly, but really being scammed is what everybody's being protected about. Why we have Mika, why we have state regulation, why we have countries regulation. It's to stop people from falling foul of scams. And if any of you have ever opened an email from a Nigerian prince, you know that's actually much harder than it seems. Essentially, it's people being robbed or becoming part of something wrongful. You can inadvertently be drawn into something without even realizing that it's a scam. And that is much easier said than done. There are great examples out there where projects have started very legitimately and have turned into something that they shouldn't have been. And it's an age-old saying that a lot of money little money doesn't corrupt you, but a lot of money corrupts. And unfortunately, we see that a lot in any financial industry, but the digital asset industry is the biggest piece of this. And really it comes down to this. Credibility goes. Those of us who were in early get told that Bitcoin's a scam. NFTs are nothing but pictures that people print. It's all money laundering. I mean, we've all heard these things, right? Somebody's poked fun at it. So the credibility goes, and people get hurt. People lose their savings. And let's talk about some specifics. What does red flags look like. So together we can look at some of these and begin to put a piece or pieces of the puzzle together to understand really what red flags we should be looking for. Now, hidden team. This is one of my personal favorite. It's like, hey, we're producing this, we're building this, it's so awesome, we're so proud of it, but we're not actually going to tell you who we are. And the amount of times you go on websites today and you look at DEXs, DAOs, various other decentralized bodies, and they're like, give us your money because you should trust us, but we're not really going to tell you who we are. It's kind of a red flag for me. Somebody that's not confident to put their name to something usually doesn't have trust in it. A hidden company, where it's not really a DAO. This is always my favorite. We're a DAO, we're not incorporated anywhere, so the laws don't apply to us. Let me tell you this now, that doesn't work. If anybody's listened to my talk on DAOs, you'll understand how if that really worked, the cartel would have nothing to worry about. Because if being a decentralized organization means that you don't have to abide by the laws, every drug dealing industry in the world would quite happily sit there and go, we're an unincorporated association, the laws don't apply to us, good luck. So it's a little bit more complex than that. Short white paper. Somebody sent me through a white paper the other day that was 8 pages long, and most of it was very large format. And I just remembered reading it thinking, this can't be serious. Mika talks a lot about white papers and what should be included. Look at your credibility on the line, right? You're talking about your company, what you're doing. And so it needs to be concise, it needs to be bigger. Unachievable goals, I love this one. I saw a project the other day that was going to send people into space. It's going to make space travel more affordable for people. Do you know how much money it costs to send somebody into space? And how much the annual budget of NASA is, of the European Space Association is? Sending somebody into space is one of the most expensive things you can do. And if you're going to do that through a crypto project, asking for a couple of £1 million, it's not going to cut it. So you instantly know that a project like that isn't going to achieve its goals. There's no point of contact. We see Gmail accounts, we see Proton Mail, if you're familiar with that, Proton Mail accounts, or just a contact us box on the website. And there's no real information. Look, when you read something, the hairs on the back of your neck should be standing up. It is not 2017 anymore. You can't just throw up a website, publish a white paper, and hope that people give you a bunch of cash. There are now serious red flags that we should be looking for. What are the red flags for advisors? Look, this isn't just projects that we talk about. The amount of people that you will meet here today and that you will meet who are like, I'm an advisor. I know what I'm doing. I'm the best. Well, here's some of the things you should look for. Research their background. What do they do? What have they done? Research their current roles. What are they doing? Who are they working with? I looked at a gentleman's LinkedIn the other day. He had 38 current jobs. 38. I don't even have the time to keep up with most of my clients. In fact, if you speak to any of them, their number one gripe is the fact that I probably don't talk to them enough. And I don't have 38 of them. So how somebody can have that many, I'm not really too sure. Speak with some of their prior clients. Look, anybody who works in any industry should know that your work should be a testament to how good you are. So you should be able to pick up the phone, open a Telegram group, to anybody that somebody has worked with before. And it's the first thing I say to these guys when I meet them. Tell me about some of your clients. Who have you worked with? Give me some testimonies, right? Look at their social media, their followers, their content. It's amazing the amount of people that have a Twitter that looks incredibly professional. And then you go on their Instagram, and it's a horror show. I mean, the things that they do in their personal and professional life is up to them, but when they broadcast it, they're an ambassador for who they are. It's kind of amazing. You see that a lot. And examine their claims again and again and again. One of the favorite things I love being a lawyer is when people are like, I've been a crypto lawyer for years. I'm one of the originals. I've been doing this for so long. I said, oh, great. What was one of your 2017 clients? Who did you work with back in the boom? Oh, we did some kind of work, and they can't name anybody. They can't point to one successful raise, one successful client that they worked with that's been in existence since 2015, 2016, 2017. It's almost like maybe they're not telling the truth. And what should you do? How do you avoid this? Look, use your team. Use your research and common sense. You guys are astute business professionals. I don't care whether you're a service provider, an industry founder, or somebody that's just in this particular industry. You have a level of common sense, and you know what looks like a red flag and what doesn't. You should never be scared to ask questions. Confirm who someone is or what they do. I've seen people get engaged on projects, and when we come into research, it's all lies. None of it's true. And I remember thinking, well, why didn't you ask this? I mean, look, it's like dating, right? When you first kind of get to know somebody, you dig down around everything. Then you get to know them more, and then you kind of communicate with them less. And it's like, well, why did you never have that honeymoon period? Why did you never talk to them every day, use their skill set? And treat the situation like a pilot landing, right? There's an age-old expression for pilots, and it's you can always go round. If things don't feel right when you're coming into that final approach, you can always go round and start again. You can do that with anybody you meet. If you're working with somebody, if you've began a relationship with somebody and you're really not sure or something doesn't feel right, flag them, talk to them, have a very honest conversation with them about what they're doing, who they are, why they're in this. And as service providers or as industry experts, you should be cognizant of all of this. And I know that a lot of this feels like it's common sense, but we work in an industry that unfortunately seems to have a non-alignment with common sense. And I hate to say that, but the amount of times I see people and I see things that happen, especially being a lawyer, I explain to people it's like having children. I will look at a client, they'll be doing something, and we'll kind of set them on the right course. And that's great. You're on the right course. You'll turn around, you'll look at another client, you'll help them, and you'll turn back to the first client, and there'll just be this horror of, what are you guys doing? Who told you to do this? And unfortunately, that happens a lot here. And I'm convinced it's through nothing more than excitement. People just genuinely excited to be doing what they're doing. But we have to use our common sense, and we have to control what we're doing with the level of this. Guys, you can follow up with me on anything that you've got, anything that you want to talk about. That's our website. I'm just at Mr. Cal Evans on all social media and Telegram, so feel free to hit me up. Thank you for listening.